How you guys doing today? Today I want to talk about the difference between settling an account and paying an account in full. What it is, what both of those things mean, which is better for you, and which option you should choose. So stay tuned. My name is Jay, and welcome to Ask a Debt Collector. I've been in the debt collection industry for over 15 years. During that time span, I've done it all, from skip tracing to collecting to working in the legal department and management. Lastly, I've owned 2 debt collection agencies over the course of that time. During the last 8 years, I've been the go-to guy for friends and family for questions about debt. Now, I want to be the go-to guy for you. If you have any questions, put them down in the comment. I promise you I'll answer those questions. Let's go. So, if for those of you who follow me, it's been a week. I haven't done any videos all last week. The reason for doing that is I just wanted to get a little more organized with regards to how I'm producing these videos and trying to create the best content for you. If you're new to the channel, please like and subscribe to get more content dealing with credit as well as debt. Now, to what you guys clicked this video for. Settlement versus paid in full. Now, what it is if you're settling an account, for instance, typically that means that you're not going to pay the full balance. So in instance, you owe $3,000, let's say after negotiating with a debt collector, you end up coming at being able to pay $2,000. That's considered settling the account. You don't pay the full amount that's due, you get a discount off of the account. Obviously, paid in full is what it is. It's when you actually have an account, you owe $3,000, you pay $3,000. You pay the full amount that's actually owed on the account. So that's the difference between those two things. Which is better? It depends on your situation and what you're going through. Obviously, if you have $3,000 to pay and you have to actually pay this debt, they verified in all the information stating that you actually owe it, your best bet is to pay it in full. Pay that balance off in full. Number one, because of the benefits that it has. On your credit report in general, if you settle an account, it shows that you actually took care of the account, but it's settled, which means that your FICO score will go up, but not as much as if you paid in full the account, right? And so that's the difference between those two things. What is better just depends on your financial situation. Obviously, if you have the $3,000, you can pay it. If you don't have that amount of money and you got a lesser amount to actually pay the lesser amount. It just depends on your financial situation with regards to paying. But I'll always encourage people, if you can pay it in full, pay it in full. What should you choose? Basically predicated on your finances, obviously. It's almost similar to which one is better. So in some cases, people have the money to actually pay the account in full. Now, I've worked for 2 different companies, and obviously I've owned 2. Now, one of the things that we did, regardless of whether you paid in full the account or you settled the account, we would report it to the credit bureaus as a paid in full account. So that's something that's cool. So what should I choose? Obviously, if a company's saying that regardless of whether you paid 50% of the debt, $1,500 in this case of the $3,000, or you paid $3,000, they're going to report it as paid in full, then obviously it's a no-brainer. I'm going to choose to pay less money to get it reported as a paid in full account. That's what I've done in both the companies that I've worked for as well as the companies that I've owned. I've always blanket settlement gave that out, so it doesn't hurt you to ask debt collection agency if they do so. So when you're negotiating, you're talking about it, you owe $3,000, you come to, an agreement of $2,000 to be paid, ask that debt collection agency, hey, once I pay this, whether it's a settlement or actually in this case, if it's a settlement, once I pay this settlement off, what do you guys report it as on your credit report? Listen to what it is they say. If they say, oh, we report it as a paid in full account, then take the discount. If they say, no, we report it as a settled account, Now, depending on where you're at and what's going on with your financial situation will determine if, in fact, you should possibly settle it or pay it in full to get it reported on your credit report as that. And so that's where it comes down to. Ultimately, a settlement is when you pay less than what is due on your balance. Paid in full is obviously paying the balance in full, and then predicated depending on what your financial situation is will determine whether you settle an account or paid in full account. Now, if it's reported as a settled account, just understand your FICO score is going to go up. Obviously, you settled the account, but it can hurt you as far as your FICO score goes too, versus paying it in full, right? And so it's very important that you understand the difference between those two things and you choose the best option for yourself given the circumstances. And as always, your best bet is to contact the debt collection agency that you're dealing with and ask them. You know, you'll never know unless you ask. People get so afraid of debt collection agencies. You get so nervous and so scared of so many things. The reality is, just asking them is not going to kill you. Ask them so that way you can best prepare a plan in which you want to do that's going to best work for yourself, given the account that you have. Thank you guys for listening. As always, be great.